to my colleagues and patients more nicely, and I'm happy that I'm making progress. That's amazing, isn't it, guys? So like this, many more messages, guys. As you can see, Ravi says here, that he's been able to talk fluently without any pause, so that's amazing. Mihir says that he's feeling much more confident because of you, sir. That's amazing, Mihir. And so like this, the reason I'm showing you all these messages, guys, is because I want to show you that the stuff that you're about to learn is really, really exciting, and it's going to help you tremendously. All right, so once again, thanks a lot for coming on today. All right, so like I said, we're going to be looking at the 10 secrets to speak fluently in English. All right, this is what I'm going to be teaching you in today's class, the 10 secrets to speak fluently in English. All right, good. Now now what I need from you guys is, my promise to you is, by the end of this training, you will have a clear understanding of how to become fluent in English, guys, okay? This is my promise to you. By the end of this training, doesn't matter what background you're coming from, whatever, situation you're in, you're coming on this training because you want to learn English and become fluent in English, isn't it? So by the end of this training, you will have a clear understanding of how to become fluent in English, guys, okay? That's my promise to you. Now, what I want from you guys is, I want you to watch till the end, okay? So you come on to this training, which is amazing. Thank you very much. But I want you to watch this training till the end, okay? And if you stay until the end, I'm going to give you a free gift, which is the English in 21 Days Blueprint, okay? So this is basically a guide which will help you to learn English faster and become more fluent in English faster, okay? So you'll get this free if you stay till the end of this training. So the proof, I want to show you some proof that the system works, because I've been telling you about this. I want to show you that this works, okay? Now, I also want to share a recent story, from one of our community members. Her name is Pooja, and she was actually able to secure her dream job by getting into the Bank of America. I think she got a job as an analyst or something, so at the Bank of America. And how was she able to do this? Because she was able to learn how to speak fluently in English, and that's what helped her to succeed at her interview, guys, all right? So that's just a little recent story that I want to share with you guys. And like this, we have many stories within the community of our students. All right, so this stuff really works. If you're excited, just give me a yes in the chat box, okay? Good. All right, so let's talk about the importance of English. All right, so why is English important? Now, you'll probably come on to this training because you already know that English is important, but for those of you who don't really know, let me just add on a few points to that, okay? Now, English is important because it is a must required skill for working professionals, okay? So if you're working at a job, let it be a small company or big company, if you want to progress in your career, if you want to get a promotion, if you want to succeed at another company, get a bigger job, salary, whatever, you definitely need to be speaking English fluently, okay? That is very important. Secondly, it is a widely spoken language in India, especially at workplaces and organizations. Like I said, if you're a professional, working professional, 100% you need to be fluent in English in order to progress in your career, okay? It is tremendously important for your career growth. It influences the way that people treat and respect you as well, okay? And it has a huge impact on your earning potential and your salary, guys, okay? So depending on if you can speak fluently in English, you will be able to earn a lot more money as well, okay? You can get a higher paying job, higher salary, everything, if you can speak fluently in English, all right? So basically, no matter what your background is, English communication skills are very important if you want to succeed, okay? So your background, maybe your mother tongue is like, Hindi, Telugu, Kannada, Gujarati, Tamil. It doesn't really matter. No matter what your background is, English communication skills are very important for you to succeed in your career, guys, okay? Now, to date, more than 10,000 people have gone through this training, okay? And they've benefited tremendously, and it has helped more than 10,000 people. Who is this for? Now, if you are a working professional who wants to improve your English skills and gain a competitive edge at your workplace, then this is for you, okay? Now, you might be working at a big company, small company, wherever you're working. If you're a working professional who wants to learn English, this is for you, okay? Secondly, if you're searching for a new job and want to perform well at your interview, then this is for you. Now, if you want to get a promotion in your company, so you need to be fluent in English. So maybe you're working at a company currently and it's a big company or maybe an MNC company and you want to progress to the next level. You want to become a manager or a director, in that case, you need to learn English in order to get that promotion. Okay, so that's for you as well. Now, if you are a teacher, engineer, doctor, customer care rep, etc., and need to develop your English skills for your job, then this is for you. Okay, so now the next thing is, now if you can understand English and even speak a little bit, but you want to become more fluent in English and speak without fear. Like I was saying, some of you are, you're fluent in English and stuff. I mean, you're able to understand English, able to speak to a certain level, but you want to become fluent, okay, without fear. You want to speak without fear, then this is for you, okay? If you get nervous while speaking in English and want to gain more confidence when you speak, this is for you. If you need to talk in English to your clients, customers, colleagues, etc., so you want to improve your English communication skills because of that, then this is for you as well. And if you want to gain the respect of your colleagues or your friends and improve your social status, then this is for you as well, guys, okay? Are you following what I'm saying? Just type in yes, following in the chat box, all right? Just type in yes, following in the chat box and I'll know that you are with me, all right? Awesome, good. Yes, I can see lots of responses. Thank you very much for that, guys. All right, so let me carry on, and I just want to introduce myself quickly. All right, so some of you guys might know me, some might not. So let me introduce myself. So more about me. So my name is actually Ronald. All right, so my name is Ronald, and I'm a native English speaker, which means that my mother tongue is English. Okay, so I speak English as my mother tongue language, and I lived in the United Kingdom, more specifically in London, for more than 10 plus years, guys. And during this time, I've been fortunate enough to work at like corporate companies like IBM, and I used to manage their worldwide advertising, the digital advertising for IBM in the UK office, okay? And basically, I come from a family of teachers. My mom was a teacher, all of my aunties are teachers, so basically I come from a family of teachers, all right? And currently, I'm following my passion of helping people to improve their English language skills. I'm also the creator of the English in 21 Days program, and to date, I've trained more than 10,000 plus people, which I already mentioned as before, guys, all right? Now, look at this picture, guys. This is a picture of me when I was in school, all right? Try not to laugh. And the reason that I'm showing you this picture is because I want to share with you a story, okay, of when I was in school, what happened, when I was in school. So what happened is I was in the 11th standard, by the way, I studied in India as well. So I was in the 11th standard, and then we had a new admission, another boy joined our class, and he came from a non-English school, okay? So it was a different medium school. He came and joined our school, which is an English medium school. And when he joined our class, he was basically like couldn't even speak a word in English. He didn't know English at all. And then few days went by, and then one day he approached me. His name was Balaji, by the way, okay? So one day he approached me and he said, look, I want to learn English. Can you teach me English, please? Okay? So I said, yeah, no problem. I'll teach you. That's fine. So what happened is we started hanging out together. We started, spending time together in the breaks, interval and lunch break and stuff. We used to have lunch together, and we started playing together and everything. And basically what we used to do is I used to practice talking in English with him, okay? And I used to teach him like new words in English, like this word means this word means that, that kind of thing. And this went on for a few weeks and so on. And in the end, we became like good friends as well, okay? And then what happened is one day, we had an English oral test like in the class, all right, for our English period. And what happened is everyone was supposed to come in front of the class and give a speech about a particular topic in English, all right? So few people came, they gave their speech, everything, and went, which was amazing. And then it was Balaji's turn to come and give a speech, okay? And then Balaji went to the front of the class and he gave a speech for like 3 minutes or maybe like 3 to 5 minutes or so, his speech completely fully in English and very, very few mistakes, So even I was quite amazed, like for Balaji to speak like this in English, that's really, really amazing. I was thinking the whole class was impressed, the teacher was impressed, and basically everyone was clapping hands, So it just goes to show you that, if you're really, really committed if you're really, really committed and determined, you can do anything that you want. Okay, so Balaji was committed that he wanted to learn English, and he took action and he learned how to speak in English. And today, Balaji is actually a teacher in the school. He teaches, I think, English or math or something like that. So that story I wanted to share with you guys, because I want to encourage you and to let you know that everything is possible. Okay, because you might be thinking like, I can't speak so fluently, or everyone else is speaking, I'm not able to speak. But English is only a language, guys. Okay, it is a skill, and every skill is learnable. So if he can do it, you too can do it. All right, good. Are you enjoying this training so far? By the way, just give me a yes in the chat box. All right, type in yes if you're enjoying the training so far. Good, awesome, good. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let's carry on. Yeah. So what you learn in the next few minutes is very, very valuable. Okay, like I said, I'm going to be showing you some interesting stuff. So I want you guys to take your notebook and your pen and take notes. All right. So if whatever you're going to be learning here, take note of it. So later on, you can refer to it and learn from that and implement it. Okay. So let's carry on. So my mission, guys, before we go into the learning part, my mission I want to share with you guys, which is to help 100,000 people speak English fluently and attain their full potential. Okay, let me repeat that one more time. My mission is to help 100,000 people speak English fluently and attain their full potential. Now, why am I saying attain their full potential? Because if you can't speak fluently in English, you're not at your full potential. You're not reaching your full potential, okay? For example, because if you're not good in English, you will miss out on new opportunities, okay? Because you're not able to speak fluently in English. It is also difficult for you to progress in your career. It is difficult to get a promotion. It is hard to pass any interview, because most of the interviews, they will test your English skills. And if you're not able to communicate in English, it's going to be hard for you to pass your interview, okay? And moreover, it'll also limit your earning potential. As we saw earlier on in those newspaper articles, if you're able to speak English fluently, you can earn more money. But if you don't speak English fluently, you can only earn lesser salary and stuff, okay? So it'll impact your earning or limit your earning potential as well. But on the other hand, if you fix this problem, if you're good in English, then it will create new opportunities for you. You'll be able to achieve much more at your workplace. It'll improve your social status. You can get a higher paying job. You can get a promotion in your company. You can pass any interview easily. It will increase your salary or your income. And most importantly, you can speak fluently without any fear or nervousness, because most of the people, like I said, their number one complaint when they join this program is, look, I can understand, I'm trying to speak, but when I try to speak, I'm scared or I get nervous, my mind goes blank, so if that's you, this program will definitely help you guys. All right, so let's get started. So like I said, here are the 10 secrets to speak fluently in English. All right, so let's get started. Secret number 1. Now, secret number 1 is to learn from a native English speaker. All right, so learn from a native English speaker. Now, why should you learn from a native speaker? You should learn from a native speaker because you don't want to waste your time and effort in learning and only then realize that you've learned it the wrong way. Now, what do I mean by this? Many people, when they want to learn English, they just learn from, just some random person. And then later on, after they put in this time, they put in the effort in learning and this and that, and then a few months down the line, they realize, oh no, I learned the wrong thing, So you want to avoid that mistake. When you're learning the first time itself, make sure you get it right, all right? So learn from a native English speaker. A native speaker will be able to teach you better, because that is their mother tongue. Like, no one makes mistakes in their mother tongue language, isn't it? So when you learn from a native speaker, they will be able to teach you better. Now, when you learn from a native speaker, you too will be able to speak like a native speaker. So that's important, okay? You will learn the correct pronunciation of words. You will pick up their slang and accent, like the way they are speaking. You also will be able to speak like that, okay? You will sound more natural while speaking in English. And this is very, very important, because you want to learn English and sound like a natural, like native English speaker. And the only way you can do that is by actually learning from a native English speaker. All right, so that is secret number 1. Make sure you're learning from a native English speaker. Okay, let's carry on to secret number 2. Secret number 2 is to master the basics. All right, master the basics. So you might have heard of this quote which says, don't run before you can walk. All right, so don't run before you can walk. What this means is you actually need to understand the basics first. And if you understand the basics first, it'll be a lot more easier for you to become fluent in English. All right, so what kind of basics I'm talking about? I'm talking like these kind of basics. All right, basics like how to introduce yourself in English. Now that is a very basic thing. You need to be able to introduce yourself in English properly, okay? You need to learn the most common phrases and sentences in English that is most commonly used, all right? Now this applies for you, by the way, even if you're an intermediate speaker as well. So if you're like complete beginner level, no problem, you can learn the basics as well. Even if you're intermediate and you know English to a certain level, it is good for you to refresh your memory and go through all these basics, okay? Like basic English grammar and stuff like that. And what this will do for you is it will actually give you a strong foundation, all right? And once you have a strong foundation, it'll be easier for you to become more fluent in the language, all right? And like I said, this applies to you even if you're an intermediate speaker. It's good for you to cover the basics first and to master the basics first, okay? So that is point number 2, guys. And let's move on to point number 3. By the way, to move on to point number 3, just type in 3 in the chat box here so that I know that you guys are following with me. Just put a number 3 in the chat box. Good, awesome, lots of threes coming in. Good. All right, let's carry on, guys, okay? So secret number 3 is to learn only essential grammar, okay? Now this is very important. Learn only essential grammar. Now, grammar, if learnt incorrectly, is confusing. It causes hesitation when speaking, and it is not easy for beginners, guys, okay? Because think about it. When anyone thinks of, okay, let me learn English, what do? They start watching videos about this grammar topic, that grammar topic, and then it becomes also confusing. And then even when you want to speak in English, your mind starts doubting, like, should I say this or should I say that? Like, which one should I say? You know, you get confused like that. So when you learn grammar incorrectly, it becomes confusing, it causes hesitation when you are speaking, and also it is not easy for beginners, okay? But what's the solution? What if I told you that you need to learn only the essential grammar? That means only the required grammar. You don't have to learn all the English grammar and become a philosopher in English and think, no. You need to learn only the essential grammar, only the required grammar, and that will make it a lot more easier for you, okay? So grammar, if learned correctly, it will give you a good understanding of how English works, all right? Because if you learn all the required grammar alone, it will give you a good understanding of how English works, and it will give you a solid foundation of the language, and which will make it easier for you to become fluent in English, guys, okay? So that is secret number 3, which is learn only the required grammar that you need, all right? Amazing, cool. Let's carry on. Secret number 4. And by the way, make sure to take notes, guys. I hope that you are taking notes so far. So let's carry on with secret number 4. Okay. So secret number 4 is to listen to native speakers speaking. All right. So listen to native speakers speaking. So let me show you this picture and let me tell you something. Okay. So when we were all kids, okay. So when you were a kid, how did you learn to speak your mother tongue language? So maybe your mother tongue is Hindi, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil. How did you learn to speak that language? If you go back and think about it, the way that you would have learned to speak that language is by listening to people around you. So maybe you listen to your mom. They were all speaking this language and you were listening to them. Okay, so that is the first step, and which leads us on to the next secret. Practice speaking with a native English speaker. All right, practice speaking with a native English speaker. So how did you learn to talk when you were a kid? You actually listened to people around you, and then you too started speaking. By copying their way of speaking, you too started to talk. All right, so it's very, very simple, guys. You listen to how people are speaking, and then you copy or you imitate them, and you too start to talk. All right, and that is the best way to learn English, guys. The best way to learn English is by listening and then speaking, guys. Okay, I hope you're liking this, by the way. The next secret is secret number 6. So secret number 6, guys, is to master the art of pronunciation. Okay, to master the art of pronunciation. Now, why is pronunciation important? You need to learn how to pronounce each word correctly in English. All right, because pronunciation has a huge impact when speaking in English, and you can tell, when two people are speaking English, for example, one person has like very good pronunciation, another person, if he's not able to pronounce the words properly, you can tell like, okay, this guy doesn't know English that much, but whereas if you can pronounce the words correctly, it makes you sound really good, like a natural native English speaker, and it makes you sound more professional, more posh, everything. Okay, so that's why pronunciation is important. So let me give you an example, guys. Let's look at this word, all right? This word, why don't you try and, pronounce it loud. Say it out loud, okay? And see what kind of way you pronounce this word, and then I'll tell you the correct pronunciation, all right? So go ahead, try and pronounce this word.
Excitement.
Okay, so if you pronounce this word as excitement, that is the incorrect or wrong pronunciation, okay? It is not excitement. The correct pronunciation is excitement. Excitement. Okay, so that is the correct pronunciation of this word as an example. So like that, guys, it goes to show you there are many words like this in English, and you need to learn how to pronounce them correctly. Okay, and when you have the correct pronunciation, it'll make you sound a lot more better, and you'll be much more fluent in English. All right, so that is secret number 6, learn the correct pronunciation. Secret number 7, guys, let's move on, which is practice makes perfect. All right, practice makes perfect. You might have heard this quote as well growing up in school or in college, or you might have heard this quote because it's very common and it's very, very true. In fact, the more that you practice, the more fluent you will become. Okay, so you definitely need to invest time and effort into practice speaking in English every day. Even if you are not fluent currently at the moment, no problem. You still have to practice speaking in English, and the more you practice, the more you learn from your mistakes. The more you practice again, the more fluent you will become in English. So that is very, very important. Don't forget to practice. Secret number 8. Secret number 8 is to build your self-confidence. Okay, build your self-confidence. Now you might be thinking like, how is self-confidence connected to speaking in English? So let me explain to you. Now, your self-confidence influences the way that you speak, all right? So if you look at people now, someone with high self-confidence will speak louder, they'll speak much more clearer and stuff like that, versus someone with low self-confidence, they'll speak a bit softly, or, they're a little bit shy to speak, that kind of thing. So your self-confidence has a huge impact on your communication skills, okay? So having high self-confidence makes you a better communicator. You will be able to communicate more clearly and get your point across, especially at a workplace and with colleagues and stuff like that. Okay, confidence earns you respect. In the office, if you're speaking at a meeting and if you're confident, you're able to speak well, it'll earn you the respect of your colleagues and your superiors and all that. All right, being confident reduces nervousness and fear, and confidence is linked to self-esteem, guys. All right, so that is secret number 8, which is build your self-confidence. Now secret number 9 is to learn to speak politely in English, all right? Learn to speak politely in English. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, let's say, for example, if I wanted someone to open that door there, okay? Now, how can I say that? Now, I can say it like this: open the door. Open the door. Okay, now that is technically correct, but if you look at it, it's more like a order or a command. It's like a little bit rude, like I'm ordering someone, like open the door. It's like an order or a command. Now, how can I say that more politely, or how can I request them to open the door? Now, instead of saying open the door, I can say, can you open the door, please? Can you open the door, please? Now that sounds much more politer, it sounds much more respectful, and it is a request. Rather than you ordering them to open the door, you are requesting them, can you open the door, please? Okay, so that is why you need to learn how to speak politely in English, and this is how native English speakers speak. So if you look at people from the UK, from USA, from America, Canada and stuff like that, this is how native English speakers speak. They speak politely in English. English, okay? So that is secret number 9. And let's carry on to secret number 10, which is secret number 10 is to improve your vocabulary, all right? Improve your vocabulary. Now, what is vocabulary, if you're wondering? It basically means to learn new words and their meanings, okay? That is what vocabulary is. So you learn new words and then you learn the meaning of those words, all right? So that is how you improve your overall vocabulary in English, guys, okay? Excuse me. Now, I wish I can teach you everything in 2 hours, guys. Okay, so this training, I wish I can teach you everything in 2 hours. But the truth is, you can't learn everything in just one class, isn't it, guys? That's the truth. You can't learn everything in one class. If you agree with that, then type in yes in the chat box. Okay, give me another yes in the chat box if you agree with this. Awesome, awesome. Lots of you guys saying yes, 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 yes. Yes, still lots of yeses coming in. Yes, because it's basically impossible, guys, isn't it? Like, I can't teach you. I wish I can, like, wave a magic wand and, suddenly you become an expert in English, but it's technically practically like impossible to do that, so you can't just learn everything in one evening, guys, all right? And that is why we have the English in 21 days full training program, guys, all right? So shall I tell you a bit more about the full training program? Do you want to know a bit more about the full English in 21 days program? Give me a yes in the chat box and then I'll explain to you a bit more, okay? Type in yes in the chat box. Good, lots of yeses coming in. Awesome. So let me tell you about the, English in 21 days program, all right? Now, when it comes to learning anything, let it be English or any skill that you want to learn, there's basically 3 routes that you can take, okay? So the first route is the long and the hard route. So that means you go ahead by yourself, you try to learn it by yourself, you will make mistakes, you will lose your way, you'll get confused, you don't know what you're doing, and it's basically a long, hard journey. But maybe eventually, after a long time, maybe you will succeed at it, maybe, and you might actually learn that skill, for example, speaking in English, all right? So that is the first option, the long and the hard route, doing it all by yourself. The second route is the fast and the easiest route, okay? So this is a route that many people have used, it has worked for many people, they've all tried it, they've all had success with it, and you to go ahead down this route and you too will get successful, and you'll learn it basically using the fast and the easiest way, basically. So that is route number 2. Route number 3 is the wrong and the impossible route, okay? So maybe you'll think like, okay, I'm going to go learn this myself, and then you start researching, you start learning, maybe you stop halfway, then you get stuck, then you need help, then you try to find the answer to that. It gets very, very confusing, and it goes around and round and round in circles, and finally you don't even achieve anything. You wasted all your time, all your effort, everything, and it's the impossible route, so you don't learn anything at all. So these are the 3 routes when it comes to learning any skill, okay? The long and the hard route, the fast and easiest route, and the wrong and impossible route.